So, hello everyone. In our previous lecture, we had covered about the natural resources, and in this lecture, we are going to have a discussion over biodiversity. Okay, so let's start. The first point is, what do you mean by biodiversity? Okay, so basically, the word biodiversity is made of 2 points. It's made of 2 points. First in bio, second one is diversity. Okay, so the term bio stand for life. Bio stand for life, whereas diversity stand for variations. Diversity stand for variations. Let's understand it by the example. Human, dog, buffalo. Okay, if you see these three things and I ask you, can you differentiate between them? Who is a human, who is a dog, and who is a buffalo? Then you can easily differentiate and tell me that this is a human, this is a dog, this is a buffalo. Why? Because they all are in variation with each other. The humans are having 2 legs, dogs having 4 legs, buffaloes are large in size. Okay, so these are some of the examples from which you can tell me that this is a human who having a 2 legs and standing upright. Then this is a dog who having 4 legs and smaller in size. Then you can say this is a buffalo who is large in size. Okay, and the one thing common between them is that they all are alive. They all are in a living being. Got it? So biodiversity basically means variation within the living things. Okay, and if you see the things around us, living things basically, the tree, the animals, and the humans. Okay, we all are in diversity with each other. Okay, this is called as a biodiversity. Indian biodiversity is incredibly rich and diverse due to its vast geographical extent, varied climatic zones, and unique ecological settings. India is 7th largest country in this world. 7th largest country in this world with a huge coastline of 7,500 kilometers. Okay, and having 4 type of weather or climatic conditions like summer, thereafter the spring, thereafter the rains, thereafter autumns, thereafter the winter. Okay, so because of these things, India has a variety in our climatic zones and in our ecological settings. Okay, what do you mean by ecological settings, or what do you mean by ecology? We will have this topic in our upcoming lectures. Okay, just remember these points which I am telling you right now. India is one of the world's 17th mega diverse country, hosting a significant portion of Earth species. Now, what do you mean by species? Basically, if I ask you, all the living beings you seeing around you, all the living beings you seeing around you, okay, just classify them. Just classify them. Okay, then how will you do? How will you differentiate between the human, the dog, the buffalo, the bird, mainly sparrow, the eagle, the lion, the elephant, and so on? There are varieties of species. Okay, then how will you differentiate them? So there is basically a differentiate table, you can say. Differentiate table, which is in that form. Number 1 is domain, thereafter kingdom, thereafter phylum, thereafter class, thereafter order, thereafter family, thereafter genus, and beside genus it is species. Okay, so this is a table starting with domain, then kingdom, then phylum, then class, then order, then family, then genus, and then species. Got it? Got it? So through this channel you can say the species is the basics of classification. So the classification basically start with the species. Okay, so what do you mean by species? What do you mean by species? Group of animals or plants having same characteristics. Like if you see the humans, we all are same. If you see the dogs, they all are same. If you see the buffaloes, then they all are same. Okay, so species is basically a group of animals or plants having the same characteristics. Okay, now come to the next point. It says species diversity. India is home to a wide array of plant and animal species. It is estimated that India harbors around 7 to 8% of the world's recorded species. As I have already told you in the discussion part, that India is the world's 17th mega diverse country. Okay, and mega diverse means on this land of India there are so many animals and species living here. Okay, and they all are diverse. It means that no one species, like that species, is same with that species. They all are differentiated. Okay, and due to this, it is called the species diversity. Okay, species diversity. And for a better understanding of species diversity, we could also use the definition that species diversity basically means variation amongst all living creature on a particular area. Okay, for better understanding, let's suppose this is the entire area and so many animals living here. But I ask you, tell me about the animals of that area. Only of that area. Okay, so it is comes under the target of species diversity, because now I am only asking you about that particular area which is marked by me. Okay, so this is the species diversity, variations amongst all living creature on a particular area. Okay, number of creatures living here and how they are differentiated from each other comes under the target of species diversity. Okay, and basically India is a land part of the world. Okay, India is just one country in this world. So that's why India accounts for the 7 to 8% of world's total biodiversity. It means in world, if there is 100% biodiversity, then in India there is about 7 to 8% of living creatures. Okay, so that's why it comes under the species diversity. Okay, country has approximately 91,000 animal species. Kindly note that number. We have about 91,000 animal species. Okay, like the mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, and insects. Okay, what do you mean by these terms? Mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, and insects. We will have a discussion over them in our upcoming lectures. Till then, just remember, India has 91,000 animal species including mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, and insects. Okay. Furthermore, for the plant species, we have 45,000 plant species comprising various flowering plants, ferns, mosses, and algae. Okay. And what do you mean by these terms? Flowering plants, ferns, mosses, and algae. We will have a separate lecture on them. Till then, just remember the facts. For animal species, 91,000. For plant species, 45,000, including animals, mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, and insects. For plants, flowering plants, ferns, mosses, and algae. Okay. Now, the term is endemic species. Okay. So, before understanding the endemic, you should understand the IUCN. IUCN. Okay. IUCN basically stands for the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Okay, so IUCN basically stands for International Union for Conservation of Nature. Okay, and IUCN gives some titles to the species like normal, then vulnerable, thereafter endangered, then extinct. So let's understand them one by one. Okay, understand them one by one. The first is normal. No danger or threat to them. Okay, if there is no danger or threat to the species, then it is a normal species. For example, dogs and cows. Okay, thereafter, second one is a vulnerable. Second one is vulnerable species. If the population got declined below 50%, and reason is unknown. If the population of a particular species is declined with a rapid rate and goes below 50% and the reason is still unknown, then it is a vulnerable species. It means in future it may have a danger or it may have a threat for its existence. Okay, for examples, penguins. Got it? Now, the next is endangered species. Means only few are left. Endangered species is basically comprised that if only a few members of a particular species are left, then it is an endangered species. Means you can count them. Okay. For example, lions and tigers. Okay. You can count them on your fingers. Not on your fingers especially, but you have an exact number of lions and tigers alive out there. Okay. So these are the endangered species because they are in limited form right now. Only few are left. Got it? Now, come to the next one. Is a extinct species. Extinct species means no one is alive. It means that a particular species of which no member is alive, like Tasmania tigers. Okay. No member of the Tasmanian tiger is still alive today. Okay, no member. It got extinct nearly 27 to 1930s. Totally extincted from this time. Okay, so this is a division from normal, then vulnerable, then endangered, then the extinct form. Now come to the next point is a endemic species. Endemic species means only found at a particular place. Only found at a particular place, then it is an endemic species. Okay, like here you can see is a desert lizard. It's a desert lizards. Okay, and the desert lizards only found at desert areas. They will not found in the green areas. Okay, it is an example of endemic species. And India also has some endemic species like the girloins, also called Asiatic lions. Okay, and thereafter lion-tailed macaque. It is a species of monkey. So these are some species which are only found in India, and basically the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. Okay. So remember these places: Western Ghats mountain range and the Eastern Himalayas are main source of endemic species. Means only some species which are only found in Western Ghats mountain range and the Eastern Himalayas region of India. Okay. Then thereafter forest. Basically, you must understand the difference between ground, grasslands, then forest. If there is an area with only small grass, nearly about 4 centimeters and above, then it's a ground. Okay, it's a ground areas. Got it? Now grasslands. Grass reaches about 4 meters of height. Then they are grasslands. But if the area is fully covered by trees with average height of 30 meters, then it is a forest area. Okay, and also in ground, or you can make like this: forest, then grasslands, then grounds. Rainfalls are high in forest, then in grasslands, and low in grounds. Okay, due to this there is no such trees and grasses. Here the grasses are there, but there is no such rainfall to grow as a forest, and in forest there is a good amount of rainfall, so that the trees are grows up to the minimum height of 30 meters. Got it? So this is the difference between the grounds, grasslands and the forest. India covers around 23% Indian land is of forest. Okay, it means that if India has a total land of 100%, 10 out of 10, 23% is only forest. And due to this huge amount, we have a good amount of biodiversity and wild life. Got it? Now come to the next point. In India, we have some types of forest like a tropical, like the deciduous, like the mountain forest. Okay. So what is the difference between these forests? The basic difference starts with the amount of rainfall, because as I have told you, rainfall decide whether the area would be a ground, the grassland or the forest. In tropical forest, also known as tropical evergreen forest, there is a rainfall around 100 centimeters per annum. Sorry, not 100, around 200 centimeters or more per annum. Tree reaches height up to 600 meters to 40 meters. Okay, and the area where they are found mostly of Western Ghats and Northeast region. Okay, so this is about the tropical evergreen. Rainfall is nearly about 200 centimeters per annum. Trees gets a height of 600 meters to 40 meters, and the areas where they are found mainly Western Ghats and the northeastern regions. Okay. Now, come to the next part, which is of deciduous forest. Here, rainfall is about 100 meters, or sorry, not 100, 100 centimeters per annum. Trees are of normal heights of 30 meters to 40 meters, and the area is Uttar Pradesh, Deccan Plateau, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat, etc. Like Jharkhand and Odisha, sometimes also considered in deciduous forest. Okay, so this is about the deciduous forest. Rainfall with 100 centimeters per annum. Trees which is a height of 30 meter to 40 meters, and the areas are Uttar Pradesh, Deccan Plateau, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Eastern Rajasthan. Okay, so this is about the deciduous forest. Got it? Now, come to the next forest type, which is of our mountain forest or montane forest basically. Which is of mountain forest. Mountain forest basically divide into three parts. Foothills, mid, top. At foothills, there is a semi-deciduous forest basically. Like the trees are similar to the deciduous forest in many aspects. In the middle part, there is a conical trees in form of Christmas trees like this. This is a tree. Okay, so that they could down the snow, because in the middle part of mountains there is a snowfall. In top there is almost no tree and only small mosses. Okay, so this is the basic division of the mountain forest. At foothills they are very similar to the deciduous forest. In middle type they are of conical trees, and at top there are almost no trees, only mosses and small grass, available only for summer season. Only for summer season. Got it? Now come to the next point. It is wetlands. What do you mean by wetlands? Basically, wetlands are the land area covered with water. Land areas covered with water is a wetland. Here you can see that there is a land area which is covered by water. Okay, so this is an example of wetlands. Got it? Second question is, why wetlands are important? Because there are two main reasons. First is dealing with flood. Second is birthplace for many species. Okay, so basically what happened, if you see that wetlands, then wetlands have a high water retention capacity. Okay, so whenever there is a huge downpour, suppose it is a wetland, and if there is a huge rainfall like this from the clouds, then that particular area of wetland will sustain that water, and the areas and the houses nearby it will not face flood situations. So there is a first usage of wetlands as they are having a high capacity to hold the water, so they are effective against dealing with the flood. Okay. Second is birthplace for species. Actually, various species use wetlands for their reproduction or to give birth for their new ones. Okay, and the famous species in this is a Sarus crane. Sarus crane usually give birth to its new ones near wetlands. Okay, and also various animals use wetland for drinking water and to deal with excessive heat waves, so that they could take a bath in the wetland water. Okay, provide habitats for numerous aquatic and semi-aquatic species and critical for water purification and flood regulation. Okay, as I have told you. Now, come to the next part is a marine biodiversity. India has a coastline of over more than 7,500 kilometers, and here we have a variety of animals like the corals, mollusks, marine mammals, dolphins, and whales. Okay, we will have a detailed discussion about them in our upcoming lectures. Just write down. Then we have coral reefs. Thereafter, we have mollusk, dolphins, whales, and other fish species in our marine diversity. Okay, and the marine diversity basically decided on two factors. Number one, salinity of water. If the fresh water is there, fishes are different from the saline water. And second is depth, basically for the oceanic path. Okay, because as this is a surface, suppose this is the surface of land and the depth of ocean. As the depth will grow, the fish species will be different. Okay, so here we have finished about the biodiversities, about the some topics. The next topics about the biodiversities, we will have a discussion over them in our upcoming lecture. Okay, or in our next lecture. Till then, thank you.